My sister replied, "Oh, we had it yesterday, after I asked about her wedding I paid for." Those were her exact words. 8 words that tore my heart open like a knife. 8 words that ended the last piece of family I thought I had. I stood in my mom's kitchen that morning, holding a plate of pancakes. My mom sat silent. My dad froze like someone pressed pause on him. And my sister, my only sister, Emily, stood across from me smiling like she hadn't just slapped me with betrayal. I had paid for her dream wedding. $50,000. And I wasn't invited. She never even told me it happened. "Emily," I whispered, "what do you mean you had the wedding yesterday?" She shrugged and rolled her eyes. "It wasn't a big deal, Ashley. Calm down. We just went ahead with it." For a second, my heart stopped. Went ahead with it? Without me, the one who paid for it? Without telling me? Without inviting me? I tried to speak, but my voice cracked. I paid for that wedding. I paid for everything. The hall, the flowers, the catering. How could you? Oh my God. She cut me off sharply. Here we go again. Always playing the victim. Something inside me snapped. But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was what she said next. "If you're going to be dramatic, you can just leave. This is why we didn't invite you." Wait. They didn't invite me on purpose? That moment changed everything. And let me just say this now. If you're watching this story, don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss what happens next. This is a revenge story. And trust me, revenge came slow, cold, and perfect. Drop a comment if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, and don't forget to like and subscribe because this story is just getting started. My name is Ashley Parker. I'm 31 years old, a registered nurse from Ohio, and I was the kind of person who believed family came first. I believed love meant sacrifice. I believed giving without expecting anything back was the right way to live. I was wrong. Before all this happened, I thought I had a pretty normal life. I wasn't rich, but I wasn't struggling. I had worked hard after college, saved money, lived with my mom for a few years to build up my finances, and finally bought my first home at 29. A cute little 3-bedroom house with a big oak tree in front and a porch swing. I painted white myself. I thought life was good. Then came a knock at my door that changed everything. It was Emily. She stood there crying, red eyes, shaking hands, mascara-stained cheeks. She looked like life had beaten her down. My heart broke for her. She was my little sister, only 27 at the time. I pulled her in for a hug. "What happened?" I asked gently. "Talk to me." She sniffed and fell apart in my arms. "Ryan lost his job. We can't afford rent. We might get kicked out. I don't know what to do." Ryan, her fiancé. A guy I didn't totally trust, but I stayed quiet for her sake. I let them move into my house. No rent. No bills. No deadline. Because that's what family does, right? Or so I thought. Over time, it wasn't rent they needed help with. Then it was car trouble. Then student debt. Then wedding bills. "Just until we get on our feet," Emily always said. I believed her. Then one day, she showed me a magazine filled with wedding dresses. "Ryan and I finally picked a date," she said, excited. "But we're short on money. We don't want anything huge. Just a small ceremony." "How much do you need?" I asked without thinking. She pressed her lips together. 40,000. My eyes widened. 40,000 is small? "It's all-inclusive," she said happily. "Venue, decor, catering, DJ, everything in one package. It's a great deal." Looking back, I should have laughed and said no. I should have told her to scale down. Have a backyard wedding. Something simple. But instead, I said yes. Because that's who I was back then, too kind, too trusting, too naive. I paid the full amount. I paid for her dream wedding. But that was just the beginning of the downfall. Things got strange about a month before the wedding. Emily stopped eating dinner with me. Ryan stopped saying thank you. They started talking in whispers when I walked by. They stopped telling me things. Then one day, I walked past Ryan's laptop while he was in the bathroom. A message popped on Messenger from someone named Mel. Did you tell her yet? Tell who what? Before I could read more, Ryan ran out of the bathroom and slammed the laptop shut. He looked jittery, scared. Don't touch my stuff again, he snapped at me. I froze. That was the moment I realized I had no idea who I was living with anymore. Things got worse after that. Wedding vendors I had already paid started calling me. Hi Ashley, just confirming final schedule? Hey Ashley, just checking, do you want us to deliver the cake to the hall or? Hi Ashley, why was the date moved? Moved? What do you mean, moved? I called Emily. No answer. I called again. Voicemail. My texts. Left on read. Suddenly, my own sister was dodging me. I drove straight to my mom's house. Emily was there, sitting like nothing was wrong, eating cereal at the kitchen table. I stood in the doorway. When is your wedding, Emily? She didn't even look up. It already happened yesterday. My blood ran cold. What? That was when she finally looked at me, calm, expressionless, cold. Oh, she said casually. We had it yesterday. And in that moment, my world went silent. Everything I had done for her, everything I had sacrificed, everything I thought we were as sisters meant nothing. I didn't even realize I dropped my phone until it cracked on the floor. You had your wedding without me? I said weakly. Emily crossed her arms. We didn't invite you on purpose. You're just too much. Always making everything about you. You would have ruined it. Ruined it? I paid for it. I choked out. So what? My money was good enough, but I wasn't.
Exactly, she said. Exactly. She said it so easily.
And that's when something inside me died. But hear me well, something else woke up. Something cold.
Sharp.
Patient. Because if there's one thing I've learned in life, it's this. Revenge is sweetest when served to people who never saw it coming. But before I tell you how I got even, before I show you how everything changed, you need to see how deep this betrayal went. Because this wasn't just a wedding. This was war. After hearing those words, I walked out of my mom's house. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't cause a scene. That's not who I am.
No.
I stayed calm. Because the best revenge starts in silence. But what happened next changed everything. Even more than the secret wedding. The next day, a letter came to my house. From a lawyer. It was from Emily. She was suing me. Yes, you heard that right. She sued me. She sued me for emotional distress and harassment, and demanded I kick her and Ryan out of my house, my own house, that they'd been living in for free. But that wasn't the worst part. She also wanted me to pay her an additional $20,000 for wedding changes and emotional damages. She was suing me for the wedding I paid for. I held that letter in my hand and laughed. But I wasn't laughing from humor. No, it was the type of laugh that comes before a storm. If you're still watching this, stick with me. What I did next will shock you, but trust me, it was justified. Drop a broken heart in the comments if you think betrayal hurts more when it comes from family. And hit that subscribe button because the next is where the real revenge begins. But before we get there, let me tell you what I did next. I didn't respond to the lawsuit right away. Instead, I drove home. I walked into my house and found Emily and Ryan watching Netflix on my couch, eating Chinese takeout, like nothing had happened. Ryan looked up annoyed. Did you seriously just walk in without knocking? This is my house, I almost said, but I stayed quiet. Emily rolled her eyes. Ashley, I hope you're not here to cause drama. Our lawyer said. I cut her off.
Calm. Sharp.
Emotionless. You have 7 days to move out. Emily blinked. Excuse me?
You.
Ryan.
Out.
7 days. She laughed in my face. You can't kick us out. We lived here for over a year. We have tenant rights. I smiled. Because she had just revealed she hadn't read my letter yet. You see, I had anticipated this. I had already given them a formal 30-day eviction notice 60 days ago.
Why?
Because I overheard them talking about leaving after the wedding anyway. They didn't know this, but legally, they had 0 rights now. They were squatters. And I could have them removed immediately, with police support. 7 days was me being kind. But that kindness was about to run out. because what happened 3 days later made my blood boil in a way I had never felt before. 3 days after I told Emily and Ryan to leave, I woke up to the sound of glass. It was early. The sun was just stretching into the sky. I ran down the stairs with my heart pounding. My porch swing lay on the grass in pieces. The white paint I had put on with my own hands was scraped and broken. The oak tree had deep grooves on the bark, like someone had hit it with a heavy object. Flower pots were smashed. The path to my front door was covered in mud and footprints. A note was on my welcome mat. Big, messy letters. Thanks for the wedding. E&R. My hand shook so bad, I almost dropped it. I picked the note up and saw a smear of black ink that looked like someone had stepped in it and walked across my living room rug. My coffee table was dented. My favorite lamp was cracked. There was mud on the couch cushions where they had been sitting the night before. I stood frozen. My chest felt tight. I wanted to scream, but my voice would not come. This felt like a war. They had crossed a line. They had destroyed things I loved. I went outside and looked at the side of the house. Someone had painted words in ugly red paint, traitor and greedy. My name was not there, but I knew they meant me. When I finally could breathe, I walked back inside and took pictures. I snapped photos of every smash and every mark. I put the note in a bag, so it would not get ruined. I did not touch anything else. I had learned something from a TV show once. Evidence matters. I called the police. They came, gentle and serious. They took my statement. They told me to lock the doors and to be careful. We'll check the cameras on the street, one officer said. We'll do what we can. The officer asked if I wanted to press charges. I wanted to very much. But I also knew this would make things worse with my family. I did not want to become the person who caused a big scene. I wanted justice, not more fighting. I also called my lawyer. I had started talking to a lawyer the moment I got the lawsuit papers. I had a good one, a calm woman named Laura who wore sharp glasses and a quiet smile. Laura told me not to retaliate in anger. She said to collect everything, to keep calm, and to let the law do its work. Keep a journal, she told me. Write down everything. Save the receipts. Save the messages. Do not post anything online that could hurt your case. I did what she said. I wrote down the time the officer came. I saved the photos. I printed out the eviction notice and the lawyer letter Emily had sent. I started a file in a drawer. Every day, I added a new sheet. But nights were the hardest. I would lie awake and see the smashed porch swing, the cracked lamp, the footprints on my rug. I would see Emily's face when she said, "We didn't invite you on purpose." I would hear her voice saying, "You're just too much." My anger turned into a cold kind of thinking. If they wanted to fight, I would win. I would not let them bully me out of my house. I would not let them take what I had worked for. I told myself I would be smart. I would be patient. I would be fair, but I would not be weak. In the days that followed, I took small steps. I changed the locks. I paid for a better security camera that looked like a small black eye on the front of the house. I put motion lights on the porch. I told my neighbor, Mr. Harris, what happened. He nodded and said he had seen Ryan lingering by the curb that night. He promised to call me if he saw anything else. I called the wedding vendors. I told them what happened and asked for copies of receipts and contracts. I wanted to prove the money trail. I wanted to show that I had paid. I wanted to show I had not stolen anything. The caterer was helpful. The florist sent a copy of the invoice. The venue manager emailed me a contract showing the deposit had my name on it. Little things like these made me feel stronger. Each paper was like a brick in a wall between me and them. But Emily's words from the kitchen kept playing in my head. "You're just too much." I thought about what that meant. Had I been too kind? Had I given too much? Was love a mistake if it left me empty? One evening, I sat on what was left of my porch and cried. I cried for the swing and the lamp. I cried for the sister I thought I had. I cried for the money that felt like it had been thrown back at me as an insult. When I stopped crying, I made a decision. I would not become bitter. I would not let anger eat me from the inside. I would learn something from this pain. Kindness must be wise. It must be paired with boundaries. I went to work the next day with a clear head. I changed beds, gave shots, comforted patients. At the end of my shift, a patient named Mr. Alvarez squeezed my hand and said, "Keep your heart, Ashley. People will hurt it sometimes, but you must keep it." His words stayed with me. I wrote them in my journal. Back at home, I started small repairs. I bought a new lamp. I replaced the broken pots. I planted new flowers where the old ones had been smashed. I wanted my house to feel like my place again. It helped a little. After that, the fights went quiet for a while. Emily and Ryan stopped coming by without notice. They were careful, but I could feel them watching. I could feel eyes on my windows when I walked into my kitchen. I knew the war had only changed. 2 weeks later, something else happened. It was small at first. An email. An anonymous one. The subject line said, "For your eyes only." My chest tightened when I opened it. Inside were screenshots of an old Facebook post. The post was from a year before when I had written about helping my sister. A kind message. A photo of us laughing. The sender's note said, "This makes a great story. People will love to hear how you paid for the wedding. Maybe they'll think differently about you." I scoffed and deleted it. Then another email came. This one had a short video attached. The video was grainy. It looked like it was filmed secretly. I watched it, and my stomach dropped. It was a video of me in the living room, months earlier, paying a vendor on the phone while Emily sat near me. I had been tired and worried. I had explained that I wanted to help. In the video, I sounded proud and loving. Someone had filmed it without my knowledge. Then a message came with the video. "If you fight us, we will make this public. People will see what you did. They will judge. Don't make waves." They were trying to scare me. They wanted me to be quiet. They wanted me to give up and be ashamed. I felt anger again, but this time I also felt pity. Pity for Emily. She had turned our truth into a weapon. She wanted the story flipped so she would look right and I would look wrong. I called Laura the lawyer. I told her about the emails and the video. She told me not to react. "If they try to make it public, we will show the real paperwork. We will show your name on the invoices. We will show the contract." She sounded calm. She always sounded calm. "People will judge," she said quietly. "But if the truth is clear, the law will help you keep your reputation. And reputation must be defended." I took Laura's advice. I did not post anything. I did not call Emily. I saved every email and message. I wrote down when they came. I did not let fear take over. But the fear did not go away. It stayed like a cold night wind that moved through the house. I would find myself wondering if someone would show up at my job, if someone would call my manager, if some video would appear online and make people suspicious. So I did something else. I told my manager at the hospital a little bit. I told her the truth, that I had paid for the wedding, that there was a lawsuit, and that I might face a public problem. My manager, Sarah, looked worried. "I'm glad you told me," she said. "If anything happens, we will support you. We trust you." It felt good to have that support. Slowly, things turned. The vendors confirmed the payments. The venue told me the deposit had my name and the transaction ID. The florist said the checks came from my account. Each confirmation calmed me. But then the new extreme event hit. One rainy morning, I opened my phone and saw that a video had been posted online. It was already getting views. My heart stopped. The video was titled, "Sister Pays for Wedding, Then Demands to be Invited? Watch." The thumbnail showed a picture of Emily smiling in a wedding dress. The video was shaky and had a voiceover. The voice actor said, "You won't believe this woman. Her sister paid for the whole wedding, and yet the sister demanded to be invited and turned everything into a big show. Is she a saint or a liar?" People were mean in the comment section. Some cheered for Emily. Some blamed me. The video made it seem like I had tried to control everything. It made Emily look like the victim. My stomach dropped. I felt cold and nauseous. I stared at the screen. My hands trembled. The problem was, the video had been cleverly edited. Clips of my kindness were stitched together with music and captions that told a different story. It looked real to anyone who did not know the full facts. Even worse, the video had an anonymous source. No one knew who made it. It had the grainy secret footage along with angry voiceover and people commenting like vultures. My phone would not stop buzzing. Friends I had not seen in years sent messages asking if I was okay. My sister's name was trending on some pages. My work emails had a few odd notes from coworkers who had seen the video. People I did not even know sent me messages telling me to be honest.